Yeah, I'll send you that link. Here you go.
Okay.
Let's got an ad. Okay, and push on your Twitter feed so some of your followers can come over.
Okay,
you're awesome. All right, yep, I sent you the link on Twitter.
Okay.
All right, and I guess I'll. All right, well, hey everybody, I'm some loudmouth on the internet with an opinion, aka Jim, and I am here joined today by the amazing Tyler Preston. He's everyone's friend. He's Tyler. He's your only black friend. He's your best black friend.
Oh, what's up, man?
Well, good to have you on my channel, Tyler. Thank you for joining me.
Anytime.
Let's see who's in the audience. I got 5 watching right now. Jacob Jones says, "Hey guys." Well, hey Jacob, how are you doing?
What's up?
So, let's see. What have you recently been talking about on your channel?
Well, I've been talking about like what was it? I forgot. Damn. It's like when you make videos, you tend to forget about the stuff you make, actually. It was like a video, I believe, about that Tina McCarthy woman.
Oh, Tara McCarthy, yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't she that woman who compared interracial sex to bestiality?
Yeah, she was.
Yes. That was pure. Yeah, I was pretty disgusted with that. What was really bizarre is like people would like tweet at her attractive like interracial women or attractive, or one was like a very this African woman, very dark skinned African woman who was beautiful, and she said you only find her attractive because she looks European. No, she didn't. The woman didn't look European at all. She looked very African. She was just a beautiful African woman.
Yeah, like it kind of implies that black people are not beautiful without some European in it, which is kind of wrong because there are some Africans who actually look good without some European in it. It just doesn't make any sense. And there was also this one tweet I saw from her where she compared like racism to plants or something.
The racism to what?
To plants.
To plants. Oh, because like different varieties of plants or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was just it was really weird and bizarre. Another controversial figure who was saying similar stuff was that Rage After Storm woman.
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically, what happened was that she made a video and she linked like the Daily Story, and it was like also these other claims that like black people like what was it? The black people like I forgot the thinking part. I forgot what it was. It was like black people like cognitive thinking. That's what it is. Sorry.
Yes, she said they lacked abstract thinking. Was her exact line? That was what she said. That I think really crossed the line. Like before that, like I'm willing to like research and kind of like human population genetics. I mean, there actually have been shown to be like genetic variation in different populations of humans, which makes sense. We're just as susceptible to the laws of natural selection as any other animal. So if you have groups of populations isolated in different environments, they would kind of slowly drift apart over time. But that's the claim that she made that really crossed the line, particularly her citing a Daily Stormer as a source. That really...
Yeah, and then they also made an article like defending her too as soon as she made that video.
Of course they did. Yes. Yeah, Daily Stormer. That's the equivalent of like a black supremacist citing Tariq Nasheed as a source. That's pretty much the equivalent.
Also, if feminists were to do that with like everyday feminists, people would just go on their back for doing that.
Right. Yeah, and I noticed that there was definitely a lot of division there. A lot of people were rushing out to denounce her after that, even like a lot of them who promoted her in the past after she released that video. I never was subscribed to her in the first place, and honestly, she just kind of seemed like one of those trends that Teal Deer noted. He did a video where he pointed out this trend of various attractive female YouTubers who pretty much just get fast followings just because people like hearing their opinions said by a pretty woman.
I didn't really know like her viewpoints until she made that video. Like I think everybody was surprised when she made it.
I mean, yeah, I could even before that. Didn't she like do one against Bill Nye, calling him Bill Nye the Jewish guy? That was a little bit of a hint before that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a video that was called, but I think she did it for clickbait, not for real,
That's what I thought
discussion.
too. Yes,
Yeah.
I thought it was just kind of edgy clickbait when I first saw that. I didn't really think she was an actual Daily Stormer person until it made her turn. But then again, it should have clicked in her head. Why does she call herself Rage After Storm? Think about that, Daily Stormer. Get it?
Right.
I think that's connected. Actually, I think she intended that.
Exactly. So I think in a way, like we kind of beforehand with the username, but I guess everybody was just surprised at the end.
Yeah. Did you tweet the link to this?
Yeah,
hangout
I did.
Oh, okay, great. One video of yours that I really liked was, which I found really funny, was the BuzzFeed parody you did about how Godzilla is sexist. I thought that was very, very, very funny because I'm kind of
like basically my inspiration for that. Well, first of all, I like Godzilla movies, so that's a plot. Two, it was because of like these videos that I see of BuzzFeed, and I thought, hey, what would be a greater idea than trying to mock fooled by it?
Yeah, well, because I think there was a real article. Weren't they saying that King Kong was racist?
Yeah, it was like it was the Huffington Post.
Oh, that was Huffington Post, not BuzzFeed, but that's pretty much equally. That's pretty much equally stupid. I mean, I saw the recent Kong movie. I kind of liked it. It was kind of goofy, but it was still what it kind of crossed with that movie. It was like a '70s creature feature movie, except with modern special effects and a big budget, whereas those movies had like no budget. Where it basically was just kind of one of those, but with modern qualities.
Yeah, did you see the ending of it, like after the credit?
I did. Where, King Ghidorah is going to be on the screen. I can't wait to see King Ghidorah done with modern Hollywood effects.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what it would look like in CGI. Like at first, when I saw Godzilla and heard about him being in CGI, I was kind of concerned. However, when I saw the 2014 movie, I was actually surprised how good it was.
Well, yeah, they can put a bunch of money into it these days. Whereas, like, well, the thing about the Toho Godzilla movies is Japanese movies have much smaller budgets on average than American movies do, because there's a much smaller market for them.
Yeah, so I believe like the creator said that they wanted to make him into like stop motion at first, like King Kong, before the filmation.
But I think the original Godzilla was actually the most expensive Japanese movie ever made when it came out. I read. Cost $1 million.
Yeah, I think, and also like Seven Samurai.
Yeah, Seven Samurai. Jeez, I don't think I've seen Seven Samurai. Even though
oh my god, you should watch it, dude. It's so worth it.
Yeah, I definitely should. But what was it? But back to King Kong was racist. It was just, and then there was like that one dude who was that Black Lives Matter meter is tweeting that War of the Planet of the Apes was racist.
Oh yeah, it was like that Ray guy.
Because he was. This is funny because it had a chimpanzee wearing the same shirt that he did. What goes through your mind just because you see a chimp with the same color jacket as you that they're referencing you?
It's not the first time I've seen these kind of comparisons either. Like I've seen people on Twitter and on YouTube comparing the death of Harambe to black people, and I also seen like Tashik Nasheed like actually making a whole entire documentary. It was like Hidden Colors. And he actually compared black people to bulls at one point.
The bulls. I didn't watch the whole movie, so I don't know. I just seen I saw Crout T's like response to Tariq's insanity, and I couldn't stop laughing at that video. Particularly when he talked about how melanin was like metachlorians that gave you like universal insight. I couldn't stop laughing. That is some funny bullshit right there.
Yeah, that's the clips that he used was from the Hidden Colors movies, and he asked me to give him the clips for that video.
Oh, he did? He got them from you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like if you want to see the movie, I could give you the link too.
Yeah. Maybe I could do that. If I was to do a loudmouth review of it, I would definitely have to see the entire watch the entire thing through first, and then find out what parts I wanted to talk about after. I always make sure to watch something from beginning to end before I do a review or response to it.
Oh yeah, speaking about your reviews, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie of all time is The Dark Knight.
Okay, That's a pretty good one, actually. Like, I remember watching it back in 2008. I was amazed by it.
Oh yeah, it blew me away. Just my favorite scene in that movie is the scene on the two boats. All right, my favorite part is actually when that one convict gets up and walks to the guard and convinces him to give him the detonator. All right, and the guard gives it to him, and he tosses it out the window. And then just kind of sits and bows his head. That was such a powerful moment. And then the Joker's expecting them to explode, and then they don't. That was brilliant.
I think my favorite moment is actually the pencil part.
This pencil disappears. Yes, but what I liked about that scene though so much is, for a movie that's often described as being such a dark, grim take on Batman, that scene is actually a stunningly optimistic take on humanity. And I think I see that in a lot of Chris Nolan movies. Interstellar was kind of the same way, about how humanity has all these lofty goals to colonize the stars. That's why I'm a big fan of it. Can't wait for Dunkirk, that next movie of his. I think it's going to be awesome.
I haven't seen the trailer of it yet.
It's a World War II movie. So,
that one. Okay.
Yeah, directed by Christopher Nolan. And every Christopher Nolan movie, they're all so good. I don't think that guy could make a bad movie if he tried.
I can't think of any bad one from him either. Like, all the Batman movies I've seen and the other ones have been pretty good.
Yeah, the Batman movies. He also did Interstellar, Inception, Memento, The Prestige. All really good movies.
Like, is he the only kind of filmmaker in the industry so far that's been using the IMAX cameras, or it's like other people too?
No, other people have used it too. Quite a few movies have a few scenes with IMAX cameras these days. Like was that Star Trek Into Darkness used them? J.J. Abrams, who did the Star Wars: The Force Awakens, he likes using IMAX cameras. The Force Awakens had some IMAX scenes where the screen blew up for IMAX if you watched it in that format.
Right, it's kind of strange when I watched like the Blu-ray of it, like for the Dark Knight, where the parts are like widescreen, but then it's like the IMAX part is like all full screen.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was intended. He wanted like the IMAX screen to start to expand the picture, and because with Blu-ray, with a CinemaScope movie, there'll be bars on the top and bottom. They basically just disappear when it's an IMAX scene.
Right,
and fill the whole screen. I've always kind of liked that. I like the IMAX ratios. Some like the Marvel movies, they actually have the same thing, but they leave them exclusive to the Blu-ray 3D edition. If you watch the Blu-ray 3D of Guardians of the Galaxy or Doctor Strange, it'll sometimes do that. But if you watch the 2D version, it's consistent widescreen.
Oh, like I don't really have any 3D Blu-rays, so it's because I don't have a 3D TV. So
I love Blu-ray 3D. I think I prefer to watch movies in that format in general. I think the technology is cool. It seems to be fading in popularity, and that's a shame because I think it really enhances movies.
Right, like for the Blu-ray 3D, like can you use like the Sony PS4 camera to watch in this 3D without having a 3D TV?
No, you need a 3D TV, otherwise it ain't gonna work.
Okay.
That's a definite requirement.
Okay.
I got one of them that has like battery powered glasses. Some of them use like polarized screens, like they have in the theater where you don't need battery powered. Mine's an older
like it's
model,
so funny how 3D does. It's so funny how 3D does change over time. Like I remember when I was like little, like 3D had those red and blue glasses. Now it's like black glasses.
Well, actually, the thing about those red and blue glasses is that's only because that's a kind of 3D that does not need a 3D TV. That'll work on any kind of TV. That's right. That's called anaglass 3D. All right. But the downside to that is it produces a really bad 3D picture because it drowns the image in red and blue, which ruins the movie's color palette, and it like really smears out the detail when it does that. So it really is pretty crappy.
Basically the screen is just red and like red and blue, and like it's just really irritating to look through compared to the 3D of today. Yeah,
like the ones when we got active shutter or polarized glasses with full color, much better picture, much better.
Though I think there were like some theaters like in Disney that had the glasses that were black before the whole nationwide 3D thing.
Actually, the first polarized 3D is actually pretty old. It was first actually demoed in 1939 at the World's Fair, and the first full color 3D movie came out in 1952. The House of Wax, the 1952 Vincent Price movie, was in full color polarized 3D right back in 1952.
Oh, really?
Really,
Wow.
yeah. That was not red and blue 3D. That was polarized. They could do it then, but the thing about the 50s though is in order to do the two eyes, you have to have two projectors, and they'd have to sync, and very often they wouldn't sync properly, and a lot of the screens got messed up because of that, and eventually theaters didn't see it as worth the effort, worth the cost, so it got scrapped for a while.
Wow. So did he actually have that version on home video yet?
Yeah, actually they do on Blu-ray 3D. I actually have them. And but like today's ones, like the real D ones, the digital ones, they can like synchronize it in the computer, so it's far less error prone. Wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about anything else besides 3D?
Yes. What's on your mind today? Everyone's favorite black friend.
What's on my mind today? Well, besides the whole entire like Tara McCarthy thing, and also like stupid things in general. I've seen some people saying stuff like, I forgot what was it? Oh shit, I keep forgetting about these things. It was like something about that woman who was like a trans activist who basically said that if you were to look at the ISIS pictures, that they are actually saving those people who are gay.
So it started with a Z. Yes. What was her name?
I
saw that tweet. That was the dumbest tweet I've ever seen in my life. All right, they were all right. Saying that those were suicides, that is pure insanity.
Yeah, like if anybody's seen footage of ISIS and them trying to put the gays down, like they're not clearly saving them at all. Like they're trying to throw them off the rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, I can't believe she actually said that when she wrote that.
Yeah, like what was running through her brain when she tweeted that?
I don't even know what was going through her brain. Like, I guess it was just her just trying to justify that Islam is not a problem or anything like that. It's so strange how so many people who claim to be on the left are just, against Islam. I'm not really against Islam, but protecting Islam and trying to defend Islam.
I've never understood that. It never makes sense to me why leftists defend Islam. That's been by far the most perplexing thing about the general mindset of the left. And there's certainly exceptions to that. People like Sam Harris, Bill Maher, what have you, who are pretty left-wing in their politics, but always crap on Islam. But they're easily the minority. The most leftists just reflexively feel the need to defend Islam, and I never understood why.
I think they're trying to conflate Islam with race. Like they see Islam as the oppressed brown people, and I guess Christianity as like the privileged white guy,
which never really makes any sense to me, because obviously beyond the fact that Islam is obviously a religion, not a race, Islam has a couple verses that are actually quite racially insensitive. I believe the Prophet Muhammad referred to this Ethiopian chief, said he had a head like a raisin.
Yeah, like it was like, I think it was his biography that said that.
Yeah, it was in a hadith. Yeah. Even he said, obey your chief, even if he is an Ethiopian whose head is like a raisin.
Right. And there's also this verse, I believe, in the hadith where it says that if a Jew were to hide behind a tree, they should be cut off or something.
I'm sorry.
Like I said, like I think there's a verse in the hadith that says that if a Jew were to hide behind a tree to get their head cut off.
Oh, there's kind of a lot of crazy verses in the hadith. Yeah. It also says that Adam, the first man, was 92 feet tall, and that every generation since Adam have all been like shrinking.
Right, and there's also this claim in the Quran that says that I think fetuses play or something.
What's that?
I think there was like a verse in the Quran that also says that fetuses were made out of clay.
I mean, I haven't heard that one. I've heard of
like the talking ants in the Quran too.
There's talking ants. Let's see, a flying horse. Lots of genies around every corner. Oh, Muhammad once said that the stones would salute him.
It's so strange how they're just trying to defend one religion that's actually worse than the other one, and then try to conflate them with the race. Because, like you said, like there's a video done by Anita Sarkeesian where she tries to use as many gymnastics to try to defend Islam.
That was you saw my response to that. That was
Oh yeah.
That was the worst thing. That video it dropped my jaw. I could barely finish it. It was amazing how bad that video was. It was so bad. Just terrible. Terrible.
Have you seen any other Anita Sarkeesian videos prior to that one?
Most of them I haven't watched. I think I have watched a couple. Mostly I know of her from response videos to her. I mean, I've seen her people respond to her asinine arguments. So a lot of stuff from Thunderfoot, Sargon, what have you.
Yeah, I noticed that nowadays Thunderfoot is actually getting a lot of dislikes from people. Like, I guess when he tries to criticize the right, at least some of the bad aspects of it.
Well, yeah, and I think a lot of it's unfair. I mean, he got into like a tiff with Sargon and others because of that live stream.
Right. Was it for Brexit or something?
No, it was over that skeptic feminist.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, he remember he had huge issues with the way they behaved on that live stream. They were all like laughing and joking.
Yeah. Like I personally spoke to one of the skeptic feminists. Like I spoke to that Russian Deadpool guy, and I also spoke to that woman that was killed. And so when I first saw people laughing at their death, I mean, I guess at the death of that woman, not really at the death of the woman, but like in general. But I got really upset about it because I personally spoke to them. And I thought it was a little too soon for that to happen, because we didn't really know at the time that he actually did kill her, and then people started making jokes about it. So,
yeah, I got into a bit of like a tiff with someone over that actually. What was it? This one guy named Uzalu. I kind of like had a fight with him on Twitter because he was making some jokes about that, and I said, "What the fuck, dude? This is sick."
Right, like I think for these kind of jokes to happen, we need to know at least more details before start making fun of it. Well, and before we actually knew about him actually killing the woman, they are just making jokes without any kind of reason to make joke about him.
Right. It came across as very insensitive and low class to me. That's just how it felt like this woman, because this woman's death, because she was a feminist, you're going to use this woman's murder to like score points. It just seemed it seemed messed up to me. That's why I probably emotionally reacted more than I should have, though. I kind of let my emotions get better.
Yeah, I think I did too when I was on Songer's channel. Excuse me. But anyway, like there was also what was it on Twitter that happened? I forgot. It's just so much stuff going on Twitter. It's just like...
Oh yeah, there's how many tweets every second, you know. You can't follow them all.
But it was like let's see. There was also that whole entire picture with what was it? Computing Forever with the bathroom thing.
I saw that one. What? Oh yeah, I just like this. Oh God. That made me facepalm. I'm like, he doesn't know what a family bathroom is? What? They're very common. What?
Oh my God, it was so cringy. Like it was obvious that it had like the family members plus the disabled on the sign.
It had disabled access. He's confused. He's like, are they saying children are disabled? No. Oh my God.
I think he deleted it once people started making it
because he was embarrassed. He clearly, after posting that, realized, oh shit, I'm a fucking idiot. I deleted it. But unfortunately, it's too late because somebody screen capped it.
Yeah, I still have it too. I mean, oh my God.
I've been guilty of that myself. I've accidentally tweeted something and then realized either I made a really dumb typo that made the tweet unintelligible and didn't realize it until after I sent it or something like that, or what's another one? I accidentally responded to this tweet from a parody account thinking it was real, and when I realized it was from a parody account, I deleted it, and I'm like, damn, that was stupid.
Yeah, right. Like it's just so hard to know on Twitter with all these parody accounts. Like you really think that some of these stuff is actually real. Like when you look at it, it's like it looks so legit when you see it.
Well, that's the thing, though. It was pretty easy if I read the page. It clearly said parody account on it, but I didn't bother going to read the page. That was my mistake. I should have.
Right. As far as like content creation, like what inspired you to create content?
What inspired me to create content? Mostly I just saw people ripping on. I started off just kind of ripping on bad movies. Like I would see people like the Nostalgia Critic and guys like him, Brad Jones and such, like making these videos and making a living, just kind of making fun of bad movies. And I thought, if they can do it, why can't I? I'm always ripping on bad movies, even myself. I had like family members even say, like, I would like critique this movie, like this. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I'm like, you should start a YouTube channel or be a film reviewer, Jim. And I'm like, okay. So I gave it a shot. How about you? What made you start?
That's a really good question. What made me start was just my like of making videos in general. Like when I was little, I always was into movies and making movies. Like I remember when I was like in middle school, I went to a film camp that actually allowed me to practice filmmaking. And I've always been into like cutting and editing and also being in front of the camera. And so like when I saw that you can do videos on YouTube, I wanted to make videos just discussing about whatever I wanted to discuss about. Like at first it was like the movie kind of stuff like you do doing your channel. And then I also managed to go into like the social justice stuff, I think around 2015, and it was like my first exposure to social justice stuff was actually that band Bossy commercial that was in 2014. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, I remember that actually. I remember that was kind of one of those silly things they were making fun of. I didn't have a channel back then, so I don't know.
Yeah, like I was thinking, what in the hell is this? Like, why do you want to ban the word bossy? Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, so talk about first world problems right there. Come on.
Yeah, and so when I saw more and more videos about these crazy feminists, like, yeah, I want to talk about this and get my 2 cents about it.
Yeah. What? Well, it's like it's like how that movie The Purge, for example. It's kind of example about that.
I don't think I watched that one yet.
It's a really bad movie. I haven't even seen either of the sequels. I just saw the first one, thought it was really bad. And the film like has this ridiculous future where crime is made legal for 24 hours, all right, every year. Which the movie's only message is that the purge is bad, and I'm like, no shit. Purge is, yeah, nope. There's no chance that something like this would ever possibly happen. Thus, the movie has no point. It has no message. And it's kind of like that. People just wanting to complain that there's nothing to complain about, want to make a big stand against a problem that doesn't exist.
Right. And it's just kind of strange how people who tend to take their social activism to a whole new level by just saying that everybody is a racist and everybody is a sexist. It's almost like they're trying to solve a problem, and I guess perhaps they have some good intentions, but they seem to overreact when they do it.
It seems to be humanity's downfall that we seem to overcorrect every problem that exists.
Right, like it doesn't really help anybody when you call anybody just a racist or a sexist or misogynist until you actually listen to what they say and not actually assume about what a person is or isn't.
Absolutely, I totally 100% agree on that. I remember this one tweet. This one tweet by this woman was saying when she was complaining about colorblind racism. I'm like,
oh my
what?
gosh.
Well, she
I see it all the time on Black Twitter. Like there are some people like Tashik and these other kind of Black supremacists on Twitter that say, well, if you're colorblind, then that's actually not like you kind of not see color by doing that. It's like, no, you do see color, but it means that you actually judge people by their character.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand why they try to speak out against colorblindness.
Yeah, it's really weird. I just made a sarcastic comment to that when she said, all right, she says, no, people should notice my skin and kiss it. And I tweeted, if a woman asked me to kiss her skin, I think she'd come on to me.
Oh, there's also these people, I think, on the alt-right who's also against the idea of like whites and blacks just mixing together.
Yeah, I've had them tell me that because I've dated outside my race that I'm supporting white genocide. So that's just nuts. Yes. what Sargon did with tweeting that interracial porn at that guy. I'm almost tempted to just kind of to make a crazy sex tape with like a black or an Asian woman that tweeted at them just to say fuck you.
Yeah, it's just I think these people who are saying like white genocide, like I think maybe they do have some points about the immigration's being out of control, but it's not literal genocide.
Well, of course it's not. And here's the thing. Over the generations, honestly, I can kind of see races mixing together more and more till eventually the human race is actually far more homogeneous than it is now over the generations. I kind of see that as kind of being the future.
Yeah, like you should encourage people to, come together and actually love each other, not, discourage people just coming together. It's just aside, and it's not wrong for that to happen.
No, it's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. I mean, if you're attracted to a woman outside your race and she's attracted to you, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. Like
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Right. Also, like Riley Dennis also tweeted out some stuff where she said that apparently if you're not into trans women, then you must be some sort of bigot.
Well, which is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. No, it's because I'm a heterosexual man, and thus I am only attracted to women, aka with XX chromosomes. Okay, biological women. That's all I'm attracted to.
Yeah, like she was making this argument that apparently like the heteros are not, born this way. They were actually socialized to be hetero or something.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if they'd ever use that argument for a gay person. Tell a gay man, you're not attracted to women because you're a misogynist. That's ridiculous.
I would not be surprised if they actually said that towards the gay man.
It's so, which would be stupid, of course. That's just how. First of all, what you're attracted to is not a choice. Is a big thing that always needs to be said. Nobody chooses to be straight. Nobody chooses to be gay. What you're attracted to is basically just predetermined by your biology.
Exactly. Like I don't think anybody just say, you know what, I want to be straight. I want to be gay. No, like it comes naturally.
Yeah, it's not socialized. It really is internal. Like basically what 96% of the population who are completely heterosexual, what they're programmed to do is they want strong children, and they're basically just programmed by evolution to seek out traits that they think will give them fertile, strong, healthy children, basically. That's why like more symmetrical faces are seen as more attractive than more lopsided faces, because it's believed that someone with a more symmetrical face is less likely to have a deformity and thus more likely to be able to give you healthy children.
Right. It's just I don't understand why these people just keep saying this kind of stuff. Like they don't really see how they're actually sounding like the homophobes that they seem to complain about in the past.
Yeah, that's the ultimate irony. That's why leftists are often called regressives today, because they oftentimes go so far in that direction. They often seem to be repeating a lot of the same harmful rhetoric as the people they originally opposed. Like it used to be that people on the religious right were opposed to video games. Now it's people like Anita Sarkeesian on the left who are essentially proposing the same thing. All right, just using different different sounding rhetoric to justify it.
Yeah, like they said that in the past that video games cause violence and stuff, and then now she is saying that video games cause sexism.
Yeah, it's really the same thing. And oftentimes their arguments are borderline identical. It's almost scary.
Yeah, like it was. What was it for that movie? Like she said that in a video about Islam that apparently like only Muslims are just portrayed as the villain, not even like other people are portrayed as the villain.
Which is bullshit. You see white people as villains in tons of movies. My God, like every James Bond movie, the villain's always some kind of like stuck-up British guy. All right, it's always with some kind of weirdness about them, a cat or something like that. All right, the villain's almost never black or an Arabic guy.
I think like the one black villain was in Live and Let Die.
Okay, yeah, Live and Let Die, yeah. But, yeah, there are black villains in some movies, but mostly British actors seem to be cast as villains a lot of the time. You ever notice that? Like,
yeah.
It seems to be like a tradition. Like in Star Wars, the rebels would have American accents, whereas the Imperials had British accents.
Yes. And there's also Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's not really American though, is it? It's like New Zealand.
Well, it's American funded, but it was shot in New Zealand.
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Yeah,
it was like Christopher Lee was like the bad guy, and everybody else was not.
Right, that was kind of a joke Honest Trailers made about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Like they said, it's a movie whose message is that all different races should all get along and be in friendship as long as they're all white. And then, yeah, and that joke. Another joke they did about that was in their Honest Trailers for the movie Friday. They said it's a movie with no white guys in the cast, so it's like a reverse Lord of the Rings.
Getting back to the religious right, have you remember that time period where they actually burned the Harry Potter books for witchcraft?
Yeah, I do remember that, even though I was a kid at the time. But even I still remember that. There was a lot of really crazy hysteria over that, which really is insane. Like, because I mean, kids can tell fantasy from reality. I read Harry Potter when I was pretty young, and I knew that none of the stuff in these books were real. It's stupid.
Right. Like, what led you to become an atheist?
Ironically, it was not reading Harry Potter. It was reading the Bible.
Oh, the Bible.
Yes, reading the Bible turned me to atheism, not reading Harry Potter.
What year was that when you became atheist?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Like, what year did you become an atheist?
I'd say about 5 years ago.
Okay. And did your family disown you, or what did they say about it?
No, they didn't disown me, but some of them still try to save me every now and then. How about you? Were you always an atheist?
No. When I was younger, I was raised in religion, and I was like an atheist since 2011. It was 2011. I became an atheist, and it was like I started to question a lot of the stuff when I saw videos videos from like Dark Matter and also The Amazing Atheists and these other atheists on YouTube who've been deconstructing religion and Christianity. And so I started to question a lot of the stuff when I was exposed by these ideas. I also, of course, like you did, read the Bible, read the Quran, and a lot of it never really made any sense to me once I started to read it.
Yeah, another really series that really like kind of helped me like lift the veil was this one YouTube channel. I don't think he's posted anything in years. He's pretty much gone, but a guy named 43 Alley did a series called An Atheist Reads the Bible, where he would kind of like read like some really horrible stories from the Bible, and he would like examine their historical context around them and examine various apologetics on why they don't fit and why they don't make sense. And all right, very good stuff. Like he had verses that supported slavery, one where God orders them to like stone a man to death for picking up sticks, and another weird one where God orders David to take a census, and then when the census isn't done properly, he kills 74,000 people.
Right. And did you where like I think it was God who actually ordered like a bear to maul down children?
One of the funniest videos attacking that was this one where they reenacted this one with these guys in bear costumes. Oh my god, that was fun. Yeah, two guys go on up, you bald head. Yeah, get out of here, you bald dick. And he's like, silence! I am Elijah, and I curse you in the name of the God I serve. Lord, I beseech thee, enact my shiny-headed vengeance. And then these she-bears come out and they start slaughtering all these people left and right in these hilarious ways. Like what was it, hitting them with baseball bats and doing karate moves. Left and right. Oh my god. That video had me laughing so hard.
What's the name of the video again?
If Religions Were Real. I don't know if it's still up. I haven't watched it in a while. If Religions Are Real is one. And they just kind of reenacted that silly story. And I like when someone's last words were, before the bear twists his neck, this seems like a disproportional response.
Wow. Like, there's a lot of great movies that actually mock religion. Like, it was my favorite one. It has to be like The Life of Brian. Really.
Oh, I love Life of Brian. Life of Brian is a comedic masterpiece. When I saw that alien scene the first time, I was laughing so hard I thought I'd suffocate. The spaceship scene with those goofy Muppet aliens. Oh my God, that was fun. You know the scene I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. It was just so random, but it was just so funny too.
Yes, that's what made it so funny. And then someone posted that part of the movie on YouTube. Someone in the comments section said, "If you're thinking this scene makes any more sense in context, it doesn't at all." It actually makes even less sense in context than just watching that scene on its own.
Yes. But do you think they would try to make like a Life of Muhammad or something someday?
No, not with all these bombings that would inevitably come. Like, and you. That's another thing. Back to what the regressive left do. The fact that they actually tried to justify. There were some of them who practically made excuses for the terrorists that attacked Charlie Hebdo, and I was so pissed about that shit. No.
Like, didn't like CNN try to hire like a guy who was like wasn't trying to condemn the Charlie Hebdo attacks or something?
Yeah, I remember it didn't explicitly say the attacks were justified, but it felt like it was sympathetic to their position. Like, you have to understand these cartoons felt like pornography and oppressed people that was attacking their culture. They felt the need to lash out. I'm like, no, these were satirical cartoons that made fun of a man who's been dead for 1,400 years. Grow up.
Right. It's just so strange how they try to justify the shootings of the innocent people at Charlie Hebdo. It's like, why would anybody just do that when people just try to, make fun of stuff without having to worry about dying?
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, it really
wasn't there also some sort of shooting in Texas about that too?
Yeah, but in that case, the terrorists were caught, and they never actually managed to kill anybody. The guard managed to kill them both without any civilian casualties.
Okay.
So, and yeah, there were people justifying that too. I remember at the time the Obama administration. This was by far the thing that angered me about the Obama administration more than anything. I could not stand when he would shill for Islam. I could not stand after an attack that he would.
It's like Islam is a religion of peace.
I couldn't stand him doing that constantly, and he was just it drove me mad. Like when he did that speech in 2012 for the United Nations, apologizing for that shitty little YouTube video. I'm like, this is despicable. He should have said, no, it's a freaking YouTube video. Grow up. That should have been his speech.
Right. It's just, I guess, even though I don't really like Trump that much, it's kind of refreshing to see him say like radical Islamic terrorism compared to like Obama.
It is, and I'm the same way. I didn't vote for Trump. I'm no fan of him. Like some of the stuff he said, vaccine denial and such like that, I think is embarrassing. But and some of the jackass behavior he does. Well, when he said that Ted Cruz's father may have been involved in the Kennedy assassination, that was some tinfoil hat great nuttery. Yeah, sure. Rafael Cruz was totally involved. He also sank the Titanic. He also sacked Rome in 32 AD. Nuts. And he was willing to say shit like that.
Oh my! Like it's kind of hard to keep track of all the stupid stuff he said. Like, didn't he also freak out on Twitter about like the play? What was it? It was like the play when what was the Mike Pence went to or something?
Yeah, the Julius Caesar play that kind of cast him as Caesar,
yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, everybody was just freaking out about that. And the funny thing about Julius Caesar was that play was against assassination.
That exactly. So it's essentially so if you place Trump as Caesar, essentially is saying that assassinating Trump is a bad thing.
Right.
And
everybody was like freaking out. There was this video by this one guy who was calling everybody in the audience like a Nazi for just watching.
Hey, you are all Goebbels. You are all Goebbels. That guy's an idiot.
And there was like that woman. It was also that woman on stage too.
Oh yeah, she tried to run the stage to stop the play. I mean, I can kind of see that depicting the sitting president's assassination kind of does seem in bad taste, so I can kind of see not liking it. But rushing the stage like that is just retarded.
Right, like they did the same exact thing with like Obama too when he was also in office.
Yeah, I believe they did. Yeah, I actually didn't know that at the time. I talked to David Sherratt of Alternative Facts, and I claimed, yeah, no one would have done that when Obama was in office, and he said, oh, yes, they did. And then I looked it up after. He was right. They did.
Right, like I saw the picture and everything.
That was egg on my face, I guess. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either when I was like around, what was it, 2012 when it happened or something, or 2008?
I'm honestly not sure, but
oh yeah, I'm not sure either.
Apparently, it was done somewhere, and in both cases, I kind of see that it being in bad taste, and it probably is. But rushing the stage to calling the audience Nazis just went too far.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of sad because this on stage and actually interrupt the play. They're the same people that say that who are social justice warriors shouldn't do that.
Yeah, they are often like a lot of them. Yeah, I see people defending that. Some of the same people who were denouncing those idiots that shouted down Milo Yiannopoulos, for example.
Right. And didn't Yiannopoulos try to do the exact same like Linus or something?
No, he just kind of. I don't really like Milo Yiannopoulos, honestly. I think he's just kind of a shock asshole who tries to get a rise out of people to get attention for himself. I don't really like the guy, but he's been kind of a good idiot magnet. He's essentially made a big name for himself simply by pissing off people and getting a bunch of idiots to try to shut him down, which of course leads to everyone who's pro-free speech rallying to his defense and praising him, probably giving him more praise than he deserves. But it really... those idiots shouting him down don't seem to realize that he'd be like 100 times less famous if they didn't do shit like that.
Right, like I believe it was like because of that whole entire famous because of that.
Yeah, that he's famous because of those people. All right,
and his book sold a lot more because of that too.
Yeah, I truly believe there is no such thing as bad attention. Any kind of attention is good attention.
Yeah, it was all. I think the only kind of bad attention was like the whole entire his comment about like the priests and him.
Oh yeah. When he no, it wasn't about priests. It was like he said at Hollywood parties they would like bring in boys, and he said some of them were very young, which was an extremely creepy thing to say. I will admit,
right?
That's creepy as shit. So honestly, I'm really. It did seem like he was like that he knew of pedophilia going on and was covering for them, which if that's what he did, it's despicable.
Right. Like there's, I think, actors who actually speak out against that kind of stuff, and they try to inform the public about it. And like, I can't believe, like, even if you were not, part of that kind of stuff, I think if you've seen stuff like that, you should probably tell as many people as you can.
Of course, absolutely. If I thought there was even like if I thought there was a 1% chance that a house across the street was engaging in behavior like that, I'd call the police immediately if I thought there was any chance of it.
Right. As far as like the moderate Muslims are concerned, what's your thoughts about them?
Moderate Muslims are concerned. I mean, as someone who used to be religious myself, I can kind of understand particularly how hard it is to break out of the religion you were raised in. So I understand. But, all right, and yeah, most of them probably haven't even read the Quran. They're just kind of nominal Muslims. All right, and that probably is the majority of the world's Muslims. But at the same time, they unwittingly do enable religious extremism when they basically try to spread the word that their religion shouldn't be criticized, that it's terrible to do this. When they do that and try to shield their religion from criticism, create kind of a cultural stigma against it, they really do kind of like give the radicals more leeway to basically legitimize themselves.
Right, like the only kind of real person I would actually consider supporting is somebody like Martin Nawaz.
I think I've heard of him. Wasn't he the one who made that book with Sam Harris? Was that?
Yes, he was.
Oh yeah. That I know who you're talking about now. And yeah, that
he was also recently on Bill Maher too.
Yeah, definitely someone who Anita Sarkeesian will never happen, but Anita Sarkeesian should talk to, but it'll never happen. Because, of course, everyone, she'll probably, if ever saw him, she'd probably call him a garbage human and say, you're a shithead, a garbage human, get away from me, get away.
Right, like, I also think they should probably have more ex-Muslims on TV shows to have, and for discussions about Islam.
I absolutely agree. Like the way some of the people on the left have slandered Ayaan Hirsi Ali has made me incredibly upset.
Like, was it like a video by Muslims that actually try to say, what was it, a white supremacist because she tries to speak out against Islam?
Yep, she has been called a white supremacist for trying to speak out against Islam. You know, a woman who went through female genital mutilation, a woman who suffered immensely from Islam, in Islamic tradition. A woman who grew up in this environment, and a woman who broke free of it, and they slander her for it. It's disgusting.
Right, like they said, well, you don't really speak out against women oppression, but they have like the hijab, which is like women oppression in Middle Eastern countries. Yeah,
she's criticized a lot of modern feminists for focusing on trivial bullshit. Those are her exact words: trivial bullshit over real in the world. I appreciate that she used such candid language there because it needed to be said.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, I wish that more feminists were like her. Actually,
I absolutely. If all feminists were like her, I would not have any problem. I wouldn't make any anti-feminism videos. That's for sure.
Right, like it's just like they're kind of small in the minority. It's also Lacey Green that's also trying to speak out too, I believe.
Yeah, I'm a little. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess I made a joke that Chris Reagan's penis is the driver to internalize misogyny.
like isn't there like some sort of debate right now?
Huh?
Or something against like the two sides on her channel?
I'm not really sure. I never watch her channel, so I don't
Okay.
I did a video back in January before all this shit with Chris Reagan came out, kind of excoriating her over her copyright abuse.
Oh yeah, like didn't she try to flag down a video done by Romeo Millennial?
Yeah, she did for some of the dumbest reasons too. She said that it's a copyright violation to use someone else's image in your thumbnails. Dozens of her videos had other people's image in her thumbnails without their permission. All right, what? I was stunned by that hypocrisy, and I basically did a video excoriating her for it. I did that's one of my best videos. It's a half-hour long video where I go through various cases of people's fair use rights being violated. Where's the fair use?
It's kind of funny because the reason why I think she used Lacey as part of this thumbnail was because videos done by her kind of like that. So it makes sense to have her in this thumbnail because it's kind of tells people what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely. It was definitely absolutely a clear fair use. All right. Rolling Millennial did not violate any kind of copyright law when she made that video.
Like, did she ever apologize to Roman Millennial for that?
I'm not aware that she did. I asked Roman Millennial on Twitter if Lacey ever apologized to her last week, and she didn't reply. So I'm going to assume that's a no.
Okay.
So yeah, she hasn't apologized.
I'm kind of happy that she's trying to reach out again to the anti-feminists, but I also think that she should probably apologize to what happened and what she did in the past.
Yes, and Roman Millennial is not the only person that she's done this to. Johnny Fox also had one of his videos flagged by her for like the same reason, and I think a couple other people who I can't really think of at the
like
for
moment. Johnny Fox, like when was that happen? Like was it last year?
Yeah, I think it was like shortly after the whole Roman Millennial incident. He also did it to her. I kind of made a joke. I made a joke about that because since I showed both of them on it, and when I show Roman Millennial's picture, I say 6 hours later, I play some 70s tunes, and I'm like, all right, kind of as a joke. And then when I play Johnny Fox's show Johnny Fox, and then I quickly move on, and then I'm like, and this case didn't take me 6 hours to complete. Thanks for that, Lacey. little joke that I threw in there, but I talk about both of those cases.
Right. Anyway, I have to go because I'm actually kind of tired right now. I just got home from work, but thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. It was a great chat, Tyler. Feel free to invite me on a live chat on your channel sometime.
Okay, thanks, man.
I was thinking we should do like I had an idea that we should do like something related to movies together, a collab where we like talk about maybe like a kaiju movie together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, I got some cool ideas for that, so I'd definitely love to do that sometime.
Well, anyway, I'll see you later, man.
All right, see you later, Tyler. All right. All right, well, Tyler has left us, so I guess I'm going to be ending the live stream now, but thanks to everyone who joined me. Bye, everyone, and be sure to subscribe to Loudmouth Reviews. Bye.